Hey, this is Stuart Chandler coming to you from Oxotic here in Fresno. Kevin Masessian, the owner, is with me, and I'm going to ask him to explain a little bit about what this is all about and an introduction to Oxotic. So, Kevin, thanks for giving me a few minutes to join you today.
Of course, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. What is Oxotic?
Oxotic is a supercar driving experience. Okay. So I've brought to the Valley an experience for people to be able to drive these supercars. We specialize in our tours. So our tours range from 15 miles to 165 miles round trip. Okay. You get behind the vehicle, you follow our pace car on a specific route. So 15 miles is our base package. We do a 30 mile, a 45, a 70, a 100, and a 165. Each one has a destination. So shortest being Madera, we'll go to Millerton, we'll do Table Mountain, we'll do the back roads to Humphrey Station, lots of twists and turns. We'll go to Bass Lake for our 100 mile, and our furthest is the Yosemite at 165.
Where do you go in Yosemite?
We go all the way to Tunnel View. So right there you get a picture of stop and see Half Dome. Yeah. On the longer tours we also stop and have lunch. So we'll do Bass Lake for lunch and then Tenaya Lodge on the Yosemite tour.
Sounds like a blast.
It's a great time. We've done almost 500 tours in the year and a half that we've been open. It's a very big gift business, so it makes a great gift for, we've had kids from 5 years old to grandparents that are 80 years old that are just, car lovers. Yeah. So it's really fun to see people get behind the wheel and enjoy these cars.
So tell me something about the fleet of cars that go out on these tours.
Yes, so I purchase cars that are rare, and I like to call them supercars because you don't see them driving down the road every day. The first one is a Lamborghini Superleggera, which means super light in Italian. So it's based on the Gallardo body. It's a V10, stock 560 horsepower.
Is that all?
That's all.
Can't you bump it up and give it a little bit?
It's funny you say that. We did. So ours is around 625.
Oh, well, there you go.
We've done some modifications because 560 wasn't enough. Yeah. Great car, all-wheel drive, loud, yellow, bright. You see it coming and you hear it coming down the road, which is what's really great. Second car is the Ferrari 458 Spider. It's naturally aspirated. The new one is now a turbo base. Spider means convertible, so it's a retractable hardtop. So when the weather's nice, like a day like today, you can put the top down and enjoy the car. That car is a dual clutch, which means that it's an F1 type of shifting.
So it's a paddle shifter?
It's a paddle shift. However, all of our cars stay in automatic mode. Since these cars are so, I won't say difficult to drive, but they have a lot of horsepower, so they're intimidating and you need to be able to control it. So everyone's required to stay in automatic mode. Okay. So that's the Ferrari. The new fleet car that was just added is a Porsche Twin Turbo S convertible. This is a 560 horsepower all-wheel drive and all-wheel steering. It is an awesome car. I've been a Porsche lover for many years.
You used to race, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to race.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I have a 69 911 that's a full-on track car. I started racing that about 15 years ago, so we call that BK, before kids. So the car's been sitting for a while, but engine's getting redone now, and I'll be taking it to the track every now and then, so now that the kids are a little bit older.
Is that how you got your interest in supercars?
Actually, my interest started from my dad, who had a 74 Corvette that he purchased when I was a year old. And back then there were no seatbelt laws or anything like that. Right. So he's driving, I'm sitting in the little cubby hole or sitting right there in the center console. Mom's on the passenger side. And then when I was old enough, 10, I would sit on his lap and steer the car. So
You got hooked.
I got hooked, and then from there we did Malibu Grand Prix, so did some go-karting.
I remember
over
that.
there where Costco is now. But that's really what started my love for cars, and then bought the first Porsche back in 2000, and several Porsches after that. And just had a love for cars. So it's everyone's got a hobby or something they enjoy, and cars is it for me.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, so you've told us about the Lamborghini and the Ferrari and the Porsche.
Correct.
Anything else?
On the fleet cars, no, that's it. I'd like to add perhaps next year a McLaren would like to come to the mix. So
all right.
McLaren is probably, they've been around for quite some time, but in the last 4 or 5 years, they're making supercars that are obtainable by the public, and great car, horsepower wise, handling wise, doors go up, just an amazing car for the money. So I think that one will do well here for people to take out.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So besides the tours that you do, what else does this business Oxotic do?
Oh, good question. So the cars are used for multiple ways. We specialize in the tours, but we also do hourly rentals. So if you have a wedding or a music video you want to shoot, a birthday party. So the cars are always accompanied by us, so we can deliver the car to the venue and pick it up. We do birthday parties, so we could come to your house, take the kids, the adults, everyone for a ride around the block, and have a great time in the car.
Hey, that sounds like
So
fun.
yeah, we've done several of those. We'll do just photo shoots where people just want a nice background of the car. We'll do grand openings for businesses, restaurants. They want some nice eye candy out front, basically. So that's the use for the cars. We don't rent. We're not a typical rental where we here's the keys and go. We're dealing with supercars that are valued, have a high price. So the cars always stay with us, and they never go out overnight. So that's kind of the recipe for what I started.
And you've been in business how long now?
March of last year, so almost a year and a half now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You having fun?
It's a great time. For me, this is, it's always important to do something you enjoy, and this is just a fun business. We've had, as I mentioned, no one has come back and said, I didn't like this or I didn't have fun. You can see all of our reviews on Google, Facebook, TripAdvisor, and Yelp.
Okay.
All 5-star reviews. I have a great staff. Sarah works in the office, also does the tours, and Philip does the tours as well. And my wife, she's in here a few days a week helping out as well.
Family business.
It is, yeah, it is.
Well, Kevin, I appreciate it. I really love to feature local businesses that are doing something unique. And I think you're just about as unique as they get in Fresno for something to do.
Well, thank you.
And just a really great asset to the community. And I think people from even outside of Fresno come to take part of this, don't they?
You're right. We've had people come from out of the country, out of the state, and something that we're actually just starting to work on now. We built an event center in the back. So we have a 5,000 square foot corporate event center, and we are trying to bring in some corporate business. So if you have a business and you want to do some team building or employee appreciation, or basically motivate the sales staff, give them some goals to reach for, and then be able to take out the cars. That's something that we've done as well. So we can host a large party back there as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So anybody watching this, if you've got a business, don't take your staff out to a fancy steak place. Buy them some time with these exotic cars. They're going to love you for it, and it's going to be something they'll remember a whole lot better than that bacon wrap filet a few years from now. Get all the pictures and all of that.
That's right. And it won't cost that much more, actually, believe it or not. So dinners are expensive these days.
Actually true.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time today.
Of course.
Really
Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much.
Yes.